This lesson is designed to give you some tips and tricks to get started on Mini Project 3. Mini Project 3 deals with GPA and grade calculations, which relates to what we talked about in Chapter 3 with fractions, decimals, and percentages. So here is how grades typically work. They're based on weighted averages, where each category carries a specific weight towards your overall final grade. So for instance, our course may or may not look similar to this. Let's say mini projects are 10%, MyLab is 10%, tests are 30%, projects are 30%, and the final exam is 20% of your overall grade. So those are the weights of each category. So if you look, tests and projects carry the most weight over your grade, or they have the most influence or the most sway or the most pull is a way to think of weighted averages. Mini projects in MyLab have the least weight or sway or pull over your grade. So one thing that's helpful to know about this is, let's say you run out of time. There's never enough hours in the day as a student, right? If you have to decide whether to study for a test or work on MyLab, what would be better? There's a lot that can go into that, but your tests carry a lot more weight than MyLab. Not that I'm advocating for skipping any work, but if you have to make decisions, make sure that they're well informed, and the way your grade is calculated can help you with that. Okay, so weighted averages, some categories carry more weight than others in terms of the final result. So for instance, when you're calculating your grade, you multiply the weight of the category as a decimal by your grade in that category. So we have this sample table here where the weights are given as a percentage in column 2. The grade for that category is given, and what we'll do is we'll calculate the points towards the grade. So the first thing is we'll take our weights and turn them into decimals by moving the decimal place over 2 or dividing by 100. Okay. And so now what we'll do is we'll take and we'll multiply these. So 0.1 times 90 is 9, 8.5, 21, 27, and 10. So to get your overall grade, what you would do is you would add up all of these points, and then that would give you your final grade. So if you add them all together, we have 9 plus 8.5 plus 21 plus 27 plus 10. This would have a 75.5 overall grade. Now, something you can do is, depending on the problem or depending on what you're trying to calculate, towards the end of the semester, one of the biggest questions I get is, what do I need to get on the final to get whatever grade in the class? So let's say your goal is to get an 85 in the class. You could reverse engineer this to say, okay, I have an 85 in the class, we'll keep these category rates, and you can put in an X for the grade on the final, or you can use guess and check to reverse engineer it that way. So this can work whether you're given all of the points or whether you're missing one category, whether it's the final overall grade or the final exam or so on. GPA calculations are also weighted averages, and your weight is based on the letter grade, how many points it's worth, and you calculate that by how many points your grade is worth times the number of credit hours. So the way this is a weighted average is higher credit courses. So a 5-credit course has more sway over your GPA than like a 2-credit course. And then what you do to finalize your calculation is you divide by the total number of credit hours. Okay, so in column 1 we have subject, look at that, A in math, grade points, and then credit hours. Grade points are fixed, so an A is always worth 4 points, a B is always worth 3, and then pluses and minuses vary by 0.3 from the base grade. So for instance, a B plus is 3.3, 3 plus 0.3, a B minus is 2.7, which is 3 minus 0.3. Just some facts on how GPA is calculated. Okay, so you take your grade points times the credit hours, and the reason why you multiply these is that A, or that 4 point, counts 5 times because it was worth 5 credits. So it's A, or 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I think I said that 5 times. So this would be 20, 9, 9.9, oops, 8.1. Okay, so in order to calculate GPA, then you take the weight of the letter grade times the number of credit hours. This is what we did. We'd add those up in the numerator, and then the denominator would be times the total number of credit hours. So our total is 5, 3, 3, 3, so 14. So this GPA, I'm going to add up this other category as well. 20 plus 9 plus 9. 47. So then we would take 47 divided by 14. which is 3.3. It'll tell you where to round, but notice this is pretty close to a B+. So the overall GPA based on these weighted averages is 3.357. So what happens is that A in math, because that class is worth 5 credits, pulled up that B- from history because that one was only worth 3 credits. Okay. So best to you on your mini project. Remember to communicate with your groups and work together on this. If there's any disagreements or anything comes up, please feel free to reach out to me.